Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a little shop tour and explain the new setup that is going into the STI and what we're still waiting on. Outside the shop in the lean-to, this is where we put all our toys that we like to rip around on the weekends. We got a couple bikes and a couple drift trikes. Inside the shop, we have 3 bays, my STI, Bo's Evo, good friend of mine. You guys have seen him around if you guys follow me on social media. And then a 3rd bay over there, which Cody, another friend of ours, has his car in there. My tools in my toolbox there, and then just parts kind of scattered all over the different shelves. And then Bo has his toolbox over here. Upstairs is kind of a clusterfuck. This is where we keep all of our stock parts and just stuff we are not using right now. So I have all my STI stock parts over here. Bo has some of his stock Evo parts back there. I have some of my Evo parts when I used to own some. Have a couple old Evo motors over there, wheels, tires, just random junk that we don't need downstairs. You have my sandblasting, air compressor, stuff like that in this corner. And then all my STI parts that are just scattered everywhere as I took the car apart. This is the motor that came out of the STI most recently, which is now junk. These 2 holes in the center of the block were the holes that got stripped out. The threads in there are no longer good, so this block is junk. Brand new, forged, rods, pistons in there, so I'll salvage those for another build another time. Over here, you have my built heads, running S3 GSC cams. In these shelves, I just have my brake cleaner, assembly lube, detailing products, stuff like that can stay in the shelf and not get in the way of everything else. And this cabinet I just recently purchased is where a lot of my new STI parts are. I have a lot of different wastegate springs that I'm not using, oil, coolant, stuff like that. Head gaskets, because it's a Subaru, of course. A lot of different gaskets that I will be changing all the time, and a full fuel system that I'm needing to build for the STI to be able to handle 1,000 plus. My new Process West manifold that I got in on my old setup that has yet to be used, and my old FP0 I've actually never used on the car, and old injectors that I keep upgrading sizes from. The shop isn't much right now, but as opposed to a year ago when I bought the property, there wasn't as much as power out in the shop, obviously lighting. So this couple months ago, we finally had power put out here and recently got all the outlets. And so now we have lighting and power out here, which has made working on cars significantly nicer. Before we had to use an extension cord from the house to out here to use some just Harbor Freight work lights. So this is a huge upgrade. I'm really excited about that. In the future, I really do want to drywall, insulate the whole shop, paint it, and then I'm wanting to do epoxy floors. So in the next couple months, that's my plan with the shop, to make it feel more like a proper shop. Now I'll talk a little bit about what the plans, the new setup and goals for the STI, as I'm still waiting on the last few parts to show up. On my old setup, I had these heads built, ported, polished, everything, running S3 cams. So these heads are good to go when my motor comes in. And I ended up getting a new turbo kit as well. Travis, if you guys know who Josh Bader is, a good buddy of ours, I switched him turbo kits. So I took his headlight turbo kit and he took my old rotated kit. So I'm now running the ETS V2 max flow headers, which we absolutely love. Custom fabricated to fit the new up pipe for the headlight turbo kit, and I'm going to be running a 76 85 mil turbo. Josh is trying to convince me to do a little bigger turbo, so we'll see what happens. I'm now obviously with the headlight turbo going to be running a fender exit, and the turbo will be sitting here. So I'm really excited. I've wanted to get a fender exit for a while. I just think they look dope and sound good. Obviously there is nothing in the engine bay right now, as I'm still waiting on the motor. Josh reached out to Outfront to see how far my block is from being delivered to him, and they said about a week and a half, so that's really exciting news. the second that block comes in, means this car gets put back together and we go racing. So I have some videos for you guys with building 1,000+ wheel horsepower STI, tuning videos, and then track days, as this car is going to be a designated track car and show car. So I'll have lots of content for you guys at the drag strip when this car is done. Hopefully, I'm trying to get my first track day in a month and a half. We'll see what happens, if there's any more parts I'm waiting on. The only 2 parts I'm waiting on besides the block are my new Torque Solutions oil pan pickup baffle and my new fluid dampener, as my stock one won't do the trick for the power goals we're trying to go to. Bo's Evo 8 here is a very badass build. It is a fully built motor, heads, bottom end, precision 6466 turbo, FIC 2150s with 2 Walbro 450s with the radium dual hanger. There's a lot of goodies we have left to do to this car. He has a purple valve cover on his toolbox over there, matching HKS purple timing belt that we'll be throwing on. And my favorite part is this gnarly bumper exit exhaust. We've yet to cut the bumper for it because this needs some modification. We're putting quick releases and it interferes with where the bracket sits. So this thing sounds gnarly. I'll get you guys a cold startup next week before we pull the motor in, fix all the issues. So before I started doing all the power stuff, I really have always wanted to do air suspension on a vehicle. So this car is actually bagged on Airlift 3P management, and it's still retaining right now on the slicks, the Airlift, and that's something I'm really wanting to keep when I drag race. I've yet to see a 1,000 horsepower Subaru that's still bagged that goes to the drag strip. So that's something I'm really wanting to retain in this car. I'm not quite sure how the air suspension will hold up, if it will pop a bag or whatever, so that'll be fun testing the limits of the air suspension. In this video, I might actually put my work wheels on the car. One, so I could air it out, you guys can see the fitment with proper wheels, because I'm having to run 30 mil spacers on the front and I'm not able to air out or else it'll crush my fender. So I might put these on in this video. One, I'll need these on when this car is together for break-in, because I don't want to use these slicks on the street and wear down the life on them. Here's the very basic air suspension setup I have in the trunk, just running 1 compressor, nothing fancy. And inside the car, there's not much. I took out all the seats for weight reduction when this car is supposed to go to the track, so I have wires for my fuel pump out everywhere. Took out all the seats. I still have the driver's seat, obviously. I need a seat to drive in. I am debating though on getting a bucket seat, a lighter weight seat than the heavy ass stock seats that are in the STI. Let me go ahead and put you guys on a time lapse of me putting the work wheels back on the STI. It's something I've been meaning to do, just have not had the time to do yet. So I'll set you guys up on a time lapse of putting the work wheels on the STI. As you guys can see, when I went to lower the car, I forgot I had an air leak in this front strut. So my car is too low to be able to pull out the jack. So I need to go ahead and throw the battery back in. Hopefully the battery has enough charge so I can air up the car so I can pull out the jack. grab the keys and see if this battery hopefully is not dead, or at least enough juice so I can air up the front of the car. It's been a while since I've sat in this. And the battery's dead. So I need to figure out how to get that battery charged so I can air up my front end so I don't destroy my bumper. I just found that I have a jump pack, so let's go ahead and give this a go and see if this car has power. And it looks like it does. Where are my keys at? Somehow within 3 seconds of looking for the jump pack, I misplaced my keys. So I need to find those and then go ahead and see if I have power to the car now. Found them. Somehow, I don't know how I forgot, when I put the key in to put an accessory, I forgot to pull the fuel pump fuse. So it was priming and spraying fuel all over my engine bay. So I need to pull that fuse and then give it another go. I have power now though. Let's go ahead and pull the fuel pump fuse. There we go. Shouldn't have a fuel spraying issue anymore. I got everywhere, all over my bumper, sprayed on my intercooler, sprayed every which direction. Alright, let's give this another go. And you can hear the compressor. So let's go ahead and raise. Just by luck, nothing ever goes smoothly whenever I work on my own stuff. So the tank was completely empty, so it is now refilling. I will pick up the camera once the tank is full again so I can air up the car. Alright, I've had the compressor on for about 10 minutes, so I should have enough voltage to get it aired up. There we go. I now have my work wheels on all 4 corners, so I'll go ahead and air out the car so you guys can see what the fitment is like on my work wheels. Here's the fitment on the work wheels. Very low, and I love it. Josh gives me shit for this all the time, but it looks damn good. I get asked this question a lot, and that is what specs are my slicks. The wheels are 16x7 and they are a 26 by 9.5 tire. I also got questions on what specs my work wheels are. These are a 18 by 9.5 with a plus 22 offset, running a 215 by 40 tire. So this wheel and tire setup is not ideal for the power levels I want, but that is why I have the slicks. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I know it's kind of all over the place. I'm just trying to give you guys a rundown of what the shop is, a little update on the STI, and then moving forward on Bo's Evo that we'll be working on starting this weekend. So I'll have videos out for you guys next week with the full process of the motor pull and everything else we're doing to it. And then hopefully the following week, I should have everything in for the STI so I can start getting you guys content for that. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.